What investment options should you consider as you plan for your retirement? Which factors should influence your decisions? Not sure? Not to worry. Retirement Matters has the answers. Welcome to today's program.
Relationships that build wealth, create opportunities, the right solutions. That's what we do at JN Fund Managers.
We're in pursuit of your financial security.
Portfolio and investment management services for individuals and corporate clients, from wealth building and risk management to preparing for a comfortable retirement. Strong, stable, secure.
We're in pursuit of your success.
Let's talk. JN Fund Managers, your safer, smarter financial partner.
We're so happy to have persuaded our guest last week to return to continue the conversation on building out a retirement portfolio and making sure that the components you choose are just right for you and for your goals. So we welcome once again Dolores Jones, Senior Vice President, Sales and Business Development, JN Fund Managers. Dolores, good morning.
Good morning to you again, Annette, and good morning to the listeners.
So we've been speaking about choosing assets for our retirement portfolios. Let's continue. The matter of a diversified investment portfolio is where we're going this morning. What exactly do we mean by a diversified portfolio, Dolores?
So, Annette, last week we spoke about asset allocation. That is allocating our retirement funds amongst the different asset classes. So, stocks, bonds, real estate, and cash, for example. This week, we will look at further diversifying this portfolio by looking at the types of investments that we're going to be choosing in the different asset classes. So, for example, let's look at investing in stocks.
I understand, and I'm beginning to see where you're going. Even at first blush, a diversified portfolio appears as if it would better achieve my goals and help me strategize. When I think of the word diversification, Dolores, the phrase that comes out to me is not putting all one's eggs in a single basket. Tell me how that's used in a financial sense.
Oh, sure, Annette. So now that we are going to be building our retirement portfolio with the different asset classes that we have chosen, we now want to separate the asset classes. Stocks, for example. Buying stocks will be a part of this retirement plan. We want to look at the different kinds of stocks. The growth stocks that will give you growth in your portfolio. However, these stocks sometimes are volatile. We want to, on the other hand, have a number of defensive stocks also in this portfolio. Let's look at the different industries, for example. You want to look at the health sector, consumables. You want to look at the financial sector. Which of these stocks are growth stocks versus defensive stocks, and how we balance having these stocks in our portfolio. And as we look further, we want to look at other asset classes. Bonds. How do we include bonds in our portfolio? Do we look at the different categories of bonds? Bonds that are high-yielding bonds, but of course comes with more risk, like, for example, a corporate bond versus a government bond, which naturally would yield you a lesser return, but would be more safer in your portfolio. So the key here is in diversification, ensure that there is always a balance, and we cannot leave out having cash. Even though this is a retirement portfolio, there are eventualities that does happen in one's life, and you want to ensure that you have an amount of investment that you can easily draw on. These are investments that can be turned into cash easily. And this is where you'd look at your money market instruments, your CDs, your repos, your treasury bill. So the aim here in building a portfolio, a diversified portfolio, is to ensure that all the different asset classes are covered, and deeper, all the different types of assets in the asset classes are covered.
What I'm gathering here is that there's a wide array of choices, And unless you are a professional in the industry, the consultation that you have with your financial advisor is critical.
Absolutely. No one shoe will ever fit all. So a 25-year-old would naturally be creating a different kind of portfolio from a 45-year-old. And of course, I can't discount your risk tolerance. This must be assessed in creating any kind of portfolio, whether it be your retirement or any other goal that you have. This must be taken into consideration.
I know there are several benefits from having a diversified portfolio. You've mentioned some. Tell me some more, please.
So, in having a diversified portfolio, it's usually good that your portfolio has a good balance. So we spoke about stocks, bonds, money market. But let's look even further at mutual funds. And this goes for the investor that really does not want to go deep in the asset class, yet wants to benefit from being exposed to all the different asset classes. This is where your mutual fund comes in. And the good thing about a mutual fund is that it's managed by a group of professionals. So these professionals will ensure that your portfolio is fully diversified amongst the different asset classes. So to create a diversified portfolio, Annette, investors need to start by investing across different asset classes. An ideal investment portfolio will include some investments that have a higher risk-reward relationship, some investments that are high risk and some investments that are low risk. The proportion of each type of asset will depend on your investment time frame and your personal risk tolerance. Once you have considered the major asset classes and the mix, you need to think further by diversifying across the different asset classes. And don't forget that with your advisor, once you have that consultation, you need to look at your lifestyle, what you already have and what you are planning to own during this process. So, for example, if you own a home and you are getting income from this home, unless you have the type of cash to do so, it doesn't make sense buying another home and just having those two assets in your retirement portfolio. Look to using that money and spreading it more widely across the different asset classes. That will ensure that you have a more diversified portfolio.
So much information and so much more to come. Thank you, Dolores Jones. I've been speaking with Dolores Jones from JN Fund Managers Limited. Please be with us next week for some more interesting information as we continue that journey to retirement and as we enjoy the here and now and prepare for the future. Remember that today's program will be uploaded to JN Fund Managers Facebook page and to YouTube. You may email your questions to jnfundmanagers@jnbs.com or contact us through our website. If you prefer, text us 504-1719. 504-1719. Until next week, take good care of yourself and others. Goodbye.